Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Aura Design from Mint Threads. I'm a co-founder and been designing for a long time. If you're watching this video, you've probably met me. So I'm making this tutorial just to help our designers out on making custom patterns to use on their jersey designs and everything. So I'm just gonna show you a few different techniques of things that you can potentially do. So I'm going to be using our Mint Threads logo mostly for this. Let me just pull up a quick example. So there's kind of a lot going on here. I don't know, I just whipped this up, but so you can see this pattern here that's used. Kind of had a gradient, so it kind of trails off at the end there, but it fills this white space up pretty nicely. So that was something I created just with the Mint Threads logo. And the way you could go about doing something like this is, so say we've got the logo here. A lot of times it turns out really nice if we put a stroke on it, like so. On that, with that jersey, I had a angle going, and then so what I could do is if I Alt Shift drag something like this, then I can do that, and then if you hit Ctrl D, it'll just keep copy and pasting it to the same distance. So that's the first tip or technique. Something else that we can do that's really cool is, say I put this here and then I wanted to connect these with a series of more of them. The shortcut is W, or we can go to Object, Blend, and Make. See, it started to blend this object for us by giving us one. Now we can edit this by going back to Object, Blend, Blend Options. You want to make sure you have specified steps. Let's say we wanted 32-ish. You can hit Preview, so you can see that's starting to make a pretty crazy looking pattern. A lot going on there, and what's cool about this is I can now, if I wanted to, I can edit this path directly like so. And even if I wanted to, I could go as far as to add another anchor point and do something like that. If I wanted to blend or curve these, put a little curve on them, do something like that. Obviously this would look really bad on a jersey, but I'm going to show you another way that could be pretty applicable. So let's say had this on the middle of a jersey. I'm just gonna make a little box. Actually, I'm probably gonna make this send it back. Okay. Something like this. Alright, once again, let's put a stroke on it. No fill. Make it a little bit thicker. Now let's say their logo was the shape of like a polygon or something. Like let's say their logo fit perfectly into this. Then it might make more sense to do what I'm about to do. But for the sake, so a really cool feature that we can do, or effect. So if I go to effect here, I go to distort and transform, opens up this window here Let's make sure preview's on. This won't be selected, but make sure scale strokes and effects is selected. And now I like to just use my scroll wheel because I have really good control of what I'm doing to the object. And let's make sure we add some copies here. As you can see, some pretty neat stuff starting to happen here. Like already, you know, you can start to see how this could be used on a jersey or something. I'm going to actually go above 100% so that it doesn't cover the logo. And then if I wanted to rotate this, you can see how it's starting to make this really cool effect. Let's bring this out a little bit more. Let's bring the stroke up some. All of a sudden we got something looking like this. I know there's a really cool looking one if you do it with this shape. There we go. It's a weird stroke. Just gonna make this smaller. Zoom in here. Now I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go to Effect, Distort and Transform, Transform, Previews on, Copies, 15 again, I guess. Let's go out. Let's rotate this. All of a sudden we have this really cool sort of pattern. So I encourage you guys to mess around with these and come up with your own cool patterns, just depending on any logo you might have. Actually, I haven't tried it with the Mint Threads logo. Let me see what we might get from doing that. Distort and transform, transform. 15 copies seems to be pretty good. Let's bring this out. Wow, yeah, okay. It's pretty crazy. And yeah, so if you play with this move, then you know, you can see this looks super cool. I could throw that on the front of a jersey or something in the background that make for something really cool. So where do I have this at? Right there. Okay. Just gonna drag and drop this in here. Boom. Oh. It's tough working in such small windows. I don't know. This might end up looking kind of weird. Opacity. Bring it down. To actually. Now normally I wouldn't directly erase a bit of this to get a fade, but just for time's sake. Boom. So yeah, you know, something cool like that using the Mint Threads logo. I actually really like that. I would probably manipulate this a little bit just so there's not as much overlay, but that's starting to look really cool. Yeah, I definitely like that. But yeah, also this is like another pattern that I recently made. I'll just use the pieces I already have. So, you know, you start like this, control. I'd probably use guides and make it more perfect, but you know, as you can see, that's already pretty decent. And I just made these first. So I made, you know, one full strip like so first, and then Ctrl D, you know, looks like this, pretty cool. Then just kind of flipped it, mirrored it, mess around with these a lot, started to get some really cool shapes and stuff. This one like curves a few times. You can start making gaps like so if you really wanted to. And you can make some really cool stuff for jerseys. And what's great about making the patterns in Illustrator first is now you have the vector, the print files are going to be so much easier to make, because you know this is the hardest part. That's why you don't want to design something fully in Photoshop first, because then you're basically recreating it in Illustrator. So really encourage you guys to use Illustrator, get used to using pen tools, you know, these transform tricks. I thought that looked weird. These transform tricks, and really play around with the client's logo, you know? Like this Mint Threads logo, I just played around with it a little bit, and you know, now I've got this kind of cool pattern in the background. So yeah, guys, I hope this was pretty helpful and not too long.